Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for this segment, we have Dan Deming, Managing Director at KKM Financial, to discuss what areas of the market are benefiting with the uncertainty in the macro and geopolitical landscapes. It is great to see you as always, Dan. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Hey, thanks, Jill. Thanks for having me.
You got it. And let's talk about that. Geopolitical tensions, we'll start there. It's making it pretty difficult for equity markets to hold anything here.
It is right now, Jill. Yeah, the headwinds from the geopolitical tensions coupled with the rising interest rate environment is causing some difficulty for the equity markets as we're drifting now back down towards the lows that we experienced, in early October, end of September. So nonetheless, you're seeing vol continuing to remain very firm here as the markets are dealing with a great deal of uncertainty.
Yeah, it seemed like over the past couple of weeks, the market essentially digested a lot of this news in stride, but it feels as if this week it's really starting to take notice. And you're seeing that with the VIX. I mean, we're starting to look at levels that we haven't seen since the spring. Yeah,
absolutely. End of March. When you look at the VIX here around 21.5 to 22. And yeah, rightly so. I think you're seeing a tremendous amount of intraday volatility in the last couple of weeks, Jill, even though maybe you're not looking at the moves that typically you would see to keep the VIX elevated at this level. But the uncertainty on an intraday basis, coupled with also just the weekend uncertainty. We did see vol go bid last Friday, and it appears that that's going to maintain this week as well, because a lot of market participants just don't want to be disconnected from the market for 2 days with the great deal of uncertainty unfolding in the Middle East.
Yeah, it's got to be really tough to even think about going long over the weekend or certainly into it. Let's talk about two areas of the market that are somewhat benefiting. You had noted gold and crypto. Why do you think that's the case?
Well, gold, I think, are a couple of reasons. Number one, it's basically you're looking at the dollar not necessarily benefiting in the way you would expect. So I think that there's some concerns as far as the U.S. moving forward, debt structure, difficulties in D.C. that's causing gold to become more preferred at this moment in time, as well as just the general uncertainties as a store of value. Gold has historically done that. And even in this rising interest rate environment, gold is continuing to maintain upward trajectory now and holding again firm as we move through the session today.
Right. So, well, next week, of course, I mean, we have a busy week, a ton of earnings. I don't think any of the issues that we've been facing this week are necessarily going to go away soon. I mean, Fed's not moving. Inflation is sticky. Geopolitical tensions are high.
Yeah, we got a lot next week, end of the month, but a lot of different confluences of events that could continue to keep vol firm. And certainly when you look at the price action, the data points all as well, Jill. We have GDP in the middle of the week, coupled with consumer data and PCE data. So Fed speak, and really though, the tensions in the Middle East, there's just still a great deal of uncertainty on how that's going to impact other asset classes. And I think you're seeing the safe haven bets continuing to benefit from that when you look at gold, crypto to some degree as well. And you're seeing the markets creating, digesting this and having a difficult time maintaining any type of upward trajectory.
So Dan, as a trader, how are you positioned? I would imagine not so much long on the equity side, probably a little bit long on the vol side.
Well, looking for opportunities to kind of hedge out some exposure to the equity markets is for sure, Jill. When you look at the options market, that's one way that we're contemplating, different ways to kind of manage this difficult environment. And also you're looking at some of the leadership as well. There's a rotation taking place, and that's another area we're looking for opportunities as well as ways to lay off some of the, the difficulties in some of the other parts of the market that particularly when you look at what's going on in the bond market.
All right, Dan, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.